welcome to Studio Viz, where I just want to look at some of the latest updates to Enscape. Enscape 4.0 has gone through several iterations over the last 2 years, really. End of last year, start this year, even the latest update of 4.13, which we do have loaded. But I just want to go through a little bit of everything so you can see and just really talk about Enscape as an Enscape user. Haven't used it as much in the last few years, but as I have here of the Barcelona Pavilion, I have looked at some of those latest features and having used it for those and use it, with several software including Rhino, Revit, and Enscape. I have a bit of an idea of, what's the feel for what's available now. Obviously, AI is a big buzz phrase for Enscape, and I did, in addition to just looking at the normal workflow of, what can we see in the model. So some of my talk is going to be talking about things like the AI, like our little addition for AI enhancer. What are we actually going to get? I have gone into Veris as well. There's also some of the V-Ray scene exports options. You can actually also share a scene. It's some really interesting ideas that you can add, including Enscape Impact, which is important for me as a lead green associate, because it does have some things that'll help you start to visualize what goes on inside of a building, not just looking at it, from the surface level. And that is important for architects and designers who want to visualize. We want to know what's going on. We want to know that this building is actually, providing value. So, that's going to be something we go into in this video. But of course, looking at this walkthrough, it is lovely always to see that just the speed that you can get, like a really beautiful setting in Enscape. It's something that it's known for, and it's something that's going to make a great difference. Okay, so we look at just really the basic interface. We'll look at some of the key things that it already still has. We do still have our base of what Enscape provides in terms of when we're looking at how it can, help you with collaboration. However, something that is going to be obviously when you're using it, even like with BIM. Right now, I'm using an Enscape model with SketchUp, so we're not going to actually see any BIM information. But obviously, it is useful when you're going to be able to select all the different items for a model. I haven't super seen too much of the change for view management as when you're creating views. Obviously, in a program like SketchUp, it goes through quite a lot of detail, so it's something that I always try to do in a very efficient way. But now that we're adding Cosmos assets, and that's, I think, something that's been going over the the 4.0 lifetime. It is different. It looks a little bit different than what we saw from the Enscape library in general, but at the same time, it does give you like more options, in terms of where these will also work with. And so you see also the ability to also do multi-placement is something that's bringing some of that Cosmos V-Ray effect to Enscape world. So in addition to this, also this model was actually geolocated. Some of the ideas are there from the site, but if we want to do something of site contacts, there's always addition. And right now, geolocation in Enscape, not just of course the minimap, but obviously if we're doing the site context, there's a level, of course, that's available from Enscape, just like it is maybe from SketchUp. If I go ahead and zoom out, you can see some of the geolocation elements from the site. This is in Barcelona. So the idea is the elements that you are going to get within an Enscape are going to be, again, sometimes white box, but if you want to see some of that context, it's nice to have that. That's a classic feature that's been there for years. So I think it's something that's more interesting, of course, is something like the AI enhancer. What AI does, it pretty much added a lot of detail. We can zoom into like this look here, but it's obviously we can actually full scale go into Varus, which would render particular elements, take in prompts. So if you're just in an Enscape model, getting a couple minutes to render it a little bit higher quality is going to be something helpful. And so that's something that I think is a good direction for what you can get out of an Enscape program. So it's not bad. So this took a couple minutes. So you'll also leave your feedback. So that's not bad. I like how that was integrated and how I can always just you could see how like general it is when you're just putting things in, but you could always get that AI upscale. And you of course also can just also take it to something as lovely as, of course, Varus. As we also look at this, we also can look at what is also happening with something like impact, where like all these windows inside the building. It's important now, and if I just go into walk mode, that we're not just maybe if I watch the light go across the page, it's important from architect, that nowadays where we like to have a lot of systems, want to make sure that a building is efficient, that we're also being sustainable. So I'm just going to go to sort of the page for impact. Again, it does have a little bit of a price tag if that's something that you're going to use, and if a project does need that sort of design support, it is something worth to invest into. So this is the page for Enscape Impact. I do think that's valuable to have that, in early stages of a project, where you can actually start to see how the building system is performing, and also uses technology like IES, so you can actually know how does your lights and other systems make that a comfortable or uncomfortable building, and you could take that into your energy design. And I like how it definitely uses not too much of things that place in. You have a building, you can really test that with the environment. So that's really cool, and that's something that is definitely part of the latest Enscape. So I think it's definitely something worth a try. You don't have to buy the full. It does give you like a trial experience, and so that's also pretty helpful. And you can integrate that with your model. So the price point is $250 a year for like pretty much new users, or proportional price if you are have an existing license. So in general, I think Enscape is just tried and true, aiming to and even merging with V-Ray, provide that high quality visual modeling style. There are some things you can get obviously if you just making videos, or if you're just really trying to visualize your product. It gives you a lot of control, and now there's a lot of upgrades that's been made as you are doing your workflow if you're working with teams. So I think that's really something that needs to be appreciated. So I think I would like to see more of how you're going to start to look at Enscape. What is Enscape doing? In the main features, I think Cosmos was adding, because of course we had the same library for quite a while. So, there are some things to look into as we're seeing get closer to 5.0. But in general, I think it's something to take a look at as download the latest version. Make sure, of course, that's compatible with your version. If you're using old Revit models, or I always like to go to the latest version. This is actually from SketchUp 2026. So some factors to help you figure out if that one is for you, and help you make that decision. But Enscape is an incredible tool, and I hope to be bringing out a tutorial for the next year. So be on the lookout for that. You can check out also some of our previous tutorials at Iamthestudio.com. That is a sponsor for the show, and thanks for watching. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think of the latest version of Enscape.